Hello everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. It is around about 10 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. We've just received news that we've now got a timetable for opening back up out of lockdown. That's going to happen around October the 11th when we are, in my particular state, 70% double vaccinated. And then a couple of weeks later, when we reach that 80% double vaxxed milestone, we will be opening up even further. By the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, by the beginning of December, most restrictions will be off in my state. So we are hoping, I think, or we look like we're going to achieve somewhere between 85-90% double vaccinated. I think it's sitting at around 85-86% one dose. So we know that that second dose is going to follow. They're pretty good figures. And we've done that since the beginning, I guess in earnest, since the beginning of July. So there you go. Okay. Let's get started. I just want to do a quick energy reading, or not a quick energy reading, an energy reading for the week ahead. And then we'll have a look at the US, and this will be a look at, as I promised, whether or not Trump will be convicted of trying to overturn an election, whether that be in Georgia or elsewhere. We might also throw some cards on why the DOJ has been so slow here in what we consider slow. Maybe, as I first intuited, they're waiting for these inquiries to take their course. So we'll have a look and throw some cards. I also then want to go to the UK. I mentioned supply lines being jeopardised. This is a combination of Brexit and the pandemic, largely driven by, of course, not something as as I guess predictable as not enough access to lorry drivers. So that's affecting deliveries to service station of petrol. There's all sorts of supply chain issues that, dare I say, should have probably been worked out before this. But anyway, we'll take a look at whether that's going to ease, because I feel that is actually a situation, certainly the pandemic side, that will possibly impact on other countries as the world kind of grapples with the Delta outbreaks, and that affects workforces, that affects shipping crews, airlines, etc. So we'll take a good look at that. All right, so let's start with some energy cards. I'm drawing from my Shamanic Medicine Oracle, and then I want to draw a couple from the Mother Peace Tarot deck, which looks like this. I haven't used it for a long time, and I just was drawn to it. There's the Judgment card. Of course, Judgment means, there's the world. Means, something coming to an inevitable ending. I do feel optimistic about getting on top of COVID, at least. Our politics, I do feel we've got a way to work through to get to some kind of consensus about what's acceptable and what's not in our democracies. But ultimately, I think that, we're taking those good steps as we start to grapple with, the recent past, particularly in the US. All right, let's have a look via the Shamanic Medicine cards. What are the overarching energies, or the underlying energies, I should say, and overarching energies for the week ahead? Thank you, Spirit. So we have here solitude. It's interesting. On my Facebook, I posted a photo. It was taken in the 1940s, which would have either been during the war or just after the war, and it depicted a foggy park. People walking within the fog and the trees reminded me, yes, there was a melancholy there, but it was also reflective of the time that they had just been through or were going through something really life-changing in a World War II, yet they were focused on their present. They were immersed in their thoughts and perhaps the thoughts and plans for the future. So I think there's a solitude aspect to our lives at the moment as we reflect, like that hermit card, as we reflect and move through what we need to move through, whether that's collectively or at the individual level. The West, purge. Isn't that interesting? Solitude and purge. Solitude in the North, purge in the West. What are we purging? That owl represents wisdom. And we have flute expression. I've said before that there will be a time when our understanding and awareness starts to crystallize following everything we've been through. We've been through a lot. And once that starts to happen, you'll get the writers, you'll get the artists, you'll get the creativity flowing again. And that will also give us subtle and not so subtle and perhaps jarring looks at what has occurred over the last 4 to 2 years, particularly around in the pandemic and in our politics. At another level, this is talking about expression is the water for the soul, that it can fill up that emptiness. So if you're creative in any way, it's a good time to start a creative endeavour. At the base of the pack, we have the East. Lots of directions here, the East. And we've got emergence, the sun rising in the East. So the lower world is the past. Bells, deflection, what are we hearing? And the great mystery, trust. The great mystery, trust. So I think as our awareness and understanding starts to crystallise about these events, life will take on a more affirming energy. Right now, I think it is that time for immersion and solitude and reflection to a certain extent. Right, let's have a look at Mother Peace. I'd like 3 messages, please, for the week ahead from Spirit. 3 messages from Spirit for the week ahead. The Ten of Wands, completing a cycle. It's a bit hard going, isn't it? But we're completing something. We've got the 3 of Pentacles, the need to work together to rebuild. The Mother Peace deck puts it fairly well into frame that we need to give our neighbour a hand up. That's the way we complete something. And if we're ready to hear that, we will start to act on it. The Shaman of Swords, the King of Swords. Okay. So, notice the ladders. The King of Swords is having a plan and a strategy. We're almost there. We're almost at that point when we can start to, when we deal with what is coming out from the past, where we can start to make those plans to move forward. But it will involve helping others, giving others a hand up. The base of the Mother Peace deck is the Two of Swords, a crossroads. Having to make decisions, heavy burdens, being weighed down, needing to decide which pathway we take. I think that's a really relevant choice for us at the moment. And we don't, necessarily need to decide today, because I don't think we're ready to decide today. But we do need to be aware that there are choices that we need to be making every day, in every way. Okay, let's get started with the Golden Tarot. Let's go to... A lot of you have asked, we say Trump will be indicted, the former president will be indicted. But will he be convicted? And the other frustration is born out of why isn't he convicted? Why isn't he indicted and on trial right now? I think it's a difficult thing to indict and convict an ex-president of the United States. I think there's all sorts of guardrails that are operational there. But I think where there's a will, there's a way. And I think there's enough of a will to see this through, as rocky as it will get. So let's just ask, will the ex-president Trump be convicted of trying to overturn an election result? Whether that be in Georgia or at the federal level, will the ex-president Trump be convicted of trying to overturn an election result? I did hear a yes. Okay, so we've got his death card again. Okay, so that's the ending of something. Putting something down, putting something to bed, the death card, transforming something, bringing it to a close. Interesting. Crossing that is the Six of Cups, the past. We cannot move forward until we do that. And that's where we are at the moment. So, maybe not riding out, battens blazing, saying, why isn't this happening yet? It isn't. It's a period for seeing that through, for staying the distance and seeing that through. Seven of Coins, great deal of review, a great deal what happened here. We need to understand what happened here and why and how we prevent that. That's a historical change. That doesn't happen overnight. But certainly something in your system in the US didn't work to allow this to occur in the first place. And so there's a great period of review. I can't understate or overstate how important historically this is at the moment in our democracies. The Eight of Coins in the past, people are doing the work. They need our support. This is about rolling sleeves up, getting the skill sets in, getting the expertise in and doing the work. That's where we are at the moment. And really at a microcosm level, these situations are probably playing out for us given the magnitude of what we've gone through. They're probably playing out in our own lives. The Ten of Cups, unconditional love. I mean, this card it's in the sky, so it's a potential. It's about as close to normality as we get, isn't it? It's about legacies, loving legacies. It's about family. It's about security. There's no instability in this card. When we achieve that Ten of Cups, we really do earn this in a way. So in the immediate future, here we go. That Judgment card that was on the bottom of the Mother piece. The Judgment is in the near future. So I am going to call this and say he's certainly undergoing that judgment, that fiery judgment at the moment. The King of Coins is appearing again, old faithful. The King of Coins in the here and now. Money. This isn't just about the ex-president, is it? It's about money. It's about the workability of a capitalistic system that disenfranchises everyone but the top 1%. This is about reform. This is about review. It's no small thing. The Two of Wands again, be patient in the here and now. Something coming to fruition in time. I get that a lot with him. This is a time, as I said, for moving through step by step. The hopes and fears, the Wheel of Fortune, change, good change. We're hopeful for that. We're hopeful. We want to get here, don't we? Okay, the outcome is the Ace of Cups. That is a yes card. So we have death and we have the Ace of Cups in relation to this question, will he be convicted? Clarifying that is the Four of Wands, the Democrat, my card for the Democrats. But this is also community, reunification. It's got a similar energy to the Ten of Cups. It's where we want to go. It's where we want to be. And we've got strength, strengthening everything, strengthening our systems, strengthening our democracies. This is a very optimistic reading. So yes, he will be convicted. Please don't ask me when. I'm going to say in divine timing. We need to see this through. King of Cups, of course, is my card for the current President of the United States, Joe Biden. We have what has been an abuse of power, the Five of Swords, but we have temperance and moderation. These two cards came up so much last year and enabled me to predict a Biden win, to correctly predict a Biden win as early as a year in front of the election, maybe more. I think I was getting lost for Trump in 2019, 2018, maybe even going back that far. And walking a tightrope, the Two of Pentacles, and of course, the Nine of Wands. So, yes, we do need to see it through. No, it's not finished. Yes, he will be convicted. Now, I did promise that I would go to the Fulton County DA's investigation in Georgia. Or I always watch the not always, but when I do see the ex-president, when I can bear to look at his footage, so many thought he would be good for everything. Weren't they wrong? Whenever I see his footage, when I can bear to look at it, he's always crafting another narrative. And he admitted at his rally that while he was bagging out the governor, Kemp, even said Stacey Abrams would be better than Kemp. And he said, yes, I did call them and I did say, hey. And we all know that the Arizona sham audit showed that gave Biden a bigger win than he already got. Okay. Will the Fulton County DA, I think, I'm getting bring charges for sure. Will they bring charges? Judgment, yeah, absolutely. Remember that card came up in the near future? That might not be too far away. And we've got the Three of Swords, loss, heartbreak, betrayal. The Five of Cups, loss. Deep loss. The Ace of Wands, and we missed that. The Ace of Wands in the past, a project plan, something that starts to move forward. That is their investigation. We kind of miss how brokenhearted people are, that this could be happening. There's judgment here, an inevitability about something occurring. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. He is going to be charged. Of that, I'm pretty certain. The Eight of Cups, loss, walking away. Four of Swords, retreat. Eight of Swords, it's almost like an imprisonment in the present here. Six of Wands, the hope for victory in the hopes and fears. And the outcome card, the Three of Cups, celebration, something. People coming together, three parties, circles of support. The Nine of Cups, the Three of Cups, good cards for, I asked, would he be convicted? The Lover's card, well, that's his card, and the Hanged Man, bringing something to a close or suspending something. There could be three people. It's not just him that will face charges. There's others involved too. Lindsey Graham is in here as well. What's at the base of the pack? The Star card. I think the Fulton County DA's investigation is really important in terms of giving hope. And this is Georgia. We go to Georgia again. They have two Democratic senators. It was a big win. That's why the ex-president honed in on Georgia, because of that, because of the star, because it gives so much hope. And one thing that authoritarian leaders want to do is destroy hope, because that prevents forward movement. That prevents setting of intentions. 4 of Cups. Okay, so I'm getting a draw that he will be charged. They will bring charges possibly reasonably soon. But I can't go any further. I can't see whether he is convicted in Georgia. Because the other reading was so positive, it could be that he's convicted at the federal level, that the DOJ brings charges and convicts. So I'm Professor Lawrence Tribe. I think you're all aware that he is a very learned, has been a professor at Harvard, I think. He says it's an open and shut case, that he should be charged and convicted of trying to overturn an election result. So, will the DOJ bring charges against Trump for trying to overturn an election? Alrighty, so 5 of Wands. It's difficult at the moment. There's no real bipartisanship for this to occur. But the Knight of Wands is challenging that. The Knight of Wands moves forward with something. This 5 of Wands can also be what happened on January the 6th. 5 of Coins is the foundation of the reading. The loss, being locked out. I'm just getting a draw to the capital here. The Page of Cups, a bombshell, surprise, something dropping that we're not expecting. That was in the past. The Queen of Wands, yeah. Okay, so this is the potential here. She does move forward with something. So we have the Knight, we have the Queen. The immediate future, the Money Trail. I always get this card. Who helped? Who helped him do it? I think he's going to try and assert executive privilege on those subpoenas. We know a raft of his inner circle have received them. There's more to come. But I think they're going to resist that and try and delay and stall that. The Empress card in the present. This is Russia. I mean, Russia's still in the frame here. There's not just trying to overturn an election result. This is money laundering. This is money laundering here. The Queen of Coins. Yeah. National security, Russia's interference in the US, money, donations. It's like that's where perhaps Merrick Garland is going to put his efforts, or is putting his efforts. 9 of Wands, in the hopes and fears, boundaries, needing to review, and the outcome is 7 of Coins, review. Something, a whole system. I think this is a reform of what led to this. The Moon card, things coming to the surface, plans coming to the surface. And the 2 of Coins, just what a tightrope was being walked. So again, 4 of Swords, wounded in battle, retreat. We have to move through. We have to bring the information out. So will the DOJ, they're certainly reviewing everything at the moment, all things. So 300 and odd cases, litigation that the ex-president is facing. I think the DOJ is waiting for evidence to emerge till it's unequivocal, and then they move, because it's not just indicting, charging, convicting him. It's about reviewing the whole system that allowed this, literally an attempted coup, to take place. It's not just an isolated thing, it's everything. That's huge. Okay, one more question around the UK supply lines. I mean, I'm hoping that cars won't be left stranded on the road, that people will be able to heat their homes in the colder weather. Will Will the supply chain issues as a result of the pandemic and Brexit be managed in the UK? Will supply chain, something's coming out, the Ten of Swords. Yeah, look, I think it's almost like it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Will the supply chain issues be managed, worked out in the UK? So the Eight of Coins and the Knight of Coins. I think it's almost like they're going to pay. They're going to have to pay to get out of this. Pay big money to get out of this. It's going to cost. Will the supply chain issues be worked out in the UK? Seven of Swords. You're not getting the full picture. There is information that is being hidden. The Three of Coins, which is challenging this. This is needing to build back up. Parties needing to come together. But they can't do that because you're not getting the full story. In some way, the truth is being hidden. Just what a tightrope is being walked. They're really juggling. Perhaps you're not aware of how severe this is or could get. They know. They're not telling you. And this is walking a tightrope. This is a ship on the rocks, having to decide which ship goes onto the rocks. So, wow, it's quite serious there at the moment. The Two of Wands, something coming to a fruition in time, in the past. Well, of course, it's almost like an inevitability. And one would have thought that this would have been worked out before the Brexit step was taken. The Moon card. Why wasn't it? Because you're not getting the full picture. There are secrets there's things being hidden. But they are coming to the surface. As we can see in the US, things do emerge. They don't stay hidden forever. And we've got the World card. It's not just the UK. I think that there are supply line challenges all across the world. If they're not now, there will be. But this is also an ending and a beginning. And the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety here at this time. But we have the Star card. So I asked, will they be managed? I guess, anxiety is the big thing. There will be people that are worried. The queues to the petrol stations are long. The Ten of Cups, worried for families. And we get the Ten of Swords again coming out. That flew out. Not good cards in this for the outcome. A potential outcome, the Moon. Something needing to come to the surface. Things being buried. The Ten of Swords. This is like an ending, a downfall. And then we have victory. If things are being hidden in the UK from the voters' views, if information is being suppressed, if people are being lied to, it's going to come out. It's going to come out because things are going to get more difficult. So they have to get more difficult before they start to improve, and the truth needs to come out. The Knight of Swords, truth is coming out. And we have the Magician card. So this is manifestation. It can also be manipulation. So there's a bit of a way to go, I think, for Boris Johnson's government. And as I said, the Seven of Swords coming out as a signifier card, and the Three of Coins needing to build, rebuild, but you can't do that if you're not being told the truth. So I think, things might get worse before they get better, and they will only get better if the people in the UK are given the truth about what they're facing. So that's the reading for today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again with another reading soon, toward the end of the week. In the meantime, be happy, be well, be happy. Thank you.